Hello, everyone, and good evening. Welcome to Adam's TV Podcast. I am your host, Adam Samuel. Today, everything is running smoothly. We are here. It is 7 o'clock. We are live. We are talking about American Idol, double header we're talking about today. We're talking about the Green Mile episode and also the top 20 reveal. There were 5 hours of Idol this week, which I think is the record. Is it? Joining me is my co-host, Eric, to give his thoughts also.
Hi. It might be tied for the record. I know that in season 15, the last week they had 5 hours, but they had over 3 nights, not over 2. I've never seen a 3-hour-long episode of Idol before. So
yeah, there was first of all there is a lot to love in these 5 hours. There was rapid fire performances. I got to tell you, this was probably my favorite week of the show though, all season, and probably as much fun as I've had enjoying this show from a whole picture perspective. Like, I loved this format. We saw in 2 hours, 20 performances. There's no filler. It's just straight up singing, and I love it. Did you, Eric?
I like the format a lot. Some thoughts on the talent, because I seem to be disagreeing with the vast consensus of the Idolverse. And yeah.
Yeah, I do just want to point out, like, this season, we're blowing through it. Like, really blowing through it. Last week we were in Hollywood week, and now the Idol is like
rushing,
kicked into overdrive, and I don't hate it. I gotta say, like, I'm enjoying it.
Here's my thing: if I knew that we would have like 7 or 8 or 9 weeks of live shows after this, I wouldn't hate it either. But we don't. We have like 6 weeks left. And that's it.
Yeah, you take the good.
So in that way, it kind of feels like we're rushing through it, and it doesn't really feel that good.
You take the good and you take the bad. It's how it always is. But one thing I do want to touch on before the show, before we can get into the episode recaps, a lot of people are giving this batch of talent pretty high praise. I'm seeing some a lot of people are really enjoying these contestants, and they're very vocal about it online. Are you agreeing with that, Eric? Do you think we are dealing with some top-notch talent here?
A few contestants I like. The vast majority of them I am not impressed by, if I'm honest. And it really, I understand why people are liking a lot of these people. I personally am having a lot of trouble getting invested in the vast majority of them.
I'm going to disagree. I actually think this is... the judges always say, like, all right, this is Howie Mandel and me is always saying, this is the best season ever. We might be getting to that level a little bit. Like, there's a bright horizon that I'm seeing from where we're standing. It could all come crumbling down, but right now, from what I'm seeing, I'm really, this is the most I've been excited for Idol. Usually I kind of get that my excitement kind of like builds to the finale, and here we are at top 20 week, and I'm pretty heavily invested. Eric and I talked a little bit before the show. I have 5 contestants that I believe that are my firm favorites, and I believe that hopefully one of those 5 is going to be the one to win. But even with them, I still enjoy the vast majority of everyone else. There are some contestants who kind of just popped out of nowhere this episode, but we'll talk about it all in a few minutes. Right, Eric?
We will.
All right, I do want to give a breakdown for how this podcast is going to work. So there were 5 episodes, not 5 episodes, that would have been madness. There were 5 hours of American Idol. So we are going to structure this episode. We are going to do a bit of a more brief overview of the Green Mile episode. We're not going to go into in-depth because this podcast would be 3 hours long. So we are just going to kind of give our top 3 favorites of the Green Mile episode, and then we are going to do a bit of a more in-depth coverage of the top 20 week, because it's the newer news. It's what's most exciting. So I do just want to mention, if you are watching us in the chat, I already see we have some viewers. If there is a contestant during the Green Mile that you feel you want us to discuss, let us know. If you feel like there's something we're maybe missing or you want us to go back to, please let us know. We will be listening to what you guys have to say. Always good to be live here when we do these podcasts, Eric.
Yep.
All right. Just looking for my notes. All right. So we are going to get into the we're going to do the Green Mile first. We're going to do the Green Mile. So here's what we're going to do. Eric and I are both going to be giving our top 3 contestants. We're going to go back and forth. There is some we do have some of the same names on our list.
We have one of the same names on our list.
One of the same names on the list, which is good. It means we can talk about some more contestants. But I am going to throw it over to Eric. Eric, who is your favorite of the first favorite of the Green Mile episode?
I'm going to go in order, actually, of who I like the most, who I like the least of my three favorites. Madison is my number one still. Because this week she proved not only can she really sing, not only can she play piano, not only can she play guitar, she proved she can perform. She didn't need to prove that in order to be my favorite this season. But for me, this week solidified her as being by far the most talented contestant this season, in my view. And I know that that's not the popular opinion, which baffles me to an extent, but yeah, I really, really, really like her. And I think she should go far. I'm not confident she will go far based on YouTube views, based on followers, etc., but I think she should.
Yes, she is performing. She performed Who's Loving You by the Jackson 5. And for me, like I mentioned, I have my 5 favorites. On my ranking, I would put maybe Madison at 6 or 7. She's good. I feel like I'm just waiting for that one moment from her. Like she had a very strong audition, but I want her back behind the piano. I want a slow ballad. I want something that's going to build to something huge. I'm waiting for that moment for me. And until that point, she's going to kind of stay in the top 6 or 7 ranking, which by the way is still a huge accomplishment because like I said, this talent, very, very strong. And just to be up there, I think for me at least, yeah, that's a good accomplishment.
No comment.
Do you think she could win, Eric, maybe?
She should win for me. I don't think she will.
All right. Well, we'll be talking a little bit more about Madison a little later. I guess it's my turn now. Should I go ahead?
Your first favorite.
All right. So my first favorite is someone who I'm pretty sure isn't on Eric's list, but is someone who I truly believe at this point is probably going to be the winner of this season. It is Lane Hardy doing Come Together by the Beatles. And, you know, he looks like the winner of American Idol. Like he's got the guitar. He checks all the boxes of what contestant usually wins this show. And I got to tell you, this was my first real performance of Lane's that I loved. I love this song and I love what Lane did with it. What did you think, Eric?
I wouldn't say I loved it, but it was my favorite performance of his so far. So I get that. I'm still not entirely on the Lane train, yet. But I think I could get there eventually. So that's good, at least. I'm no longer thinking that I'll never be rooting for him.
Yeah, this is a song that's been done to death on American Idol.
Yes.
And I think, was it one of the songs we podcasted about being the most overdone?
It wasn't, we made a huge mistake.
I think it was. I think it was. But yeah, so this, even though it's so overdone, he made me like, I didn't feel like it was an overdone song. He made it his own. I got to tell you, Eric, I really, really think he could be the winner. It might be a bit of a victory march, but I think he's got it.
I think he's got a very good shot, for better or worse.
Yeah, and like I said, he's in my 5 contestants that are also my personal favorite. I wouldn't be mad if he won. I think he would totally deserve it. But I want to see,
feel
maybe
a little bit disappointed, but
maybe because we could predict it from this far ahead. But
no, that's not why. But.
All right, Eric, who is your second favorite contestant from the Green Mile episode?
From the Green Mile episode, I like Ashley a lot, actually.
It's so funny. Ashley is going into this week. Ashley was my number 1 contestant of the season. We didn't see her at all during Hollywood Week, and I didn't love this performance as much. But tell me what you thought.
I don't know. I don't remember much about it, honestly, but I didn't really like anybody that much that round. But I think she's one of the best. I liked it a lot. That's all I really remembered.
All right. Well, I still love Ashley. Like I said, it wasn't my favorite performance. I like her behind her piano. Like, stay behind the piano. Like, that is the comfort zone for me for her. And this just wasn't my favorite. Maybe I built my expectations a little bit too high from the audition round, but I was really kind of expecting a little bit more. And it kind of maybe, like I said, my expectations were maybe just a little bit too high.
Okay.
All right. I guess it is my turn now to give my second favorite performance of the episode. For me, there's three other contestants kind of competing for the last two spots, but I'm going to give my second place award to Lacey K. Booth, who is starting to become my number one favorite this season. She does Georgia on My Mind, which is yet another song that we've kind of heard to death on these shows. But there's something about her. I think a lot of people are underestimating her, Eric. I really think she could be the dark horse of the season. I tweeted about this. I could maybe see her winning. Honestly, I truly mean that. What do you think, Eric?
For me, I would be really disappointed if she won.
I really enjoy Lacey. I don't know why people aren't so high on her. But
I mean, for me, her and several of the others this season fall into the same trap, which is that they could be considered good artists, but for me, her vocals are just so weak, and they don't have the capability in their voices to sing the type of music I like to listen to. But yeah.
I can't disagree more. I love her voice. It's sultry and it's smoky and it brings you in. She reminds me a little bit of a different. Remember a little earlier in the season we had Lady Mapo, the gothic Maddie Poppy contestant.
Mm-hmm.
Remember? Lacey is kind of like a little. She's like I don't even know how to say this. She's more Maddie's more kind of a pop singer, and Lacey's kind of a little bit. She has a little bit a sultriness, a little bit of the smoky, the I don't know. There's just something a little bit more layered to her, I guess is the word that I'm kind of saying. I feel like there's more that we can see from this contestant, and I'm really excited for her. She is in my top 3 favorites of the season so far.
She kind of puts me to sleep. Next up.
All right, Eric, who is your number 2?
My number 3 now.
Oh.
And actually, I kind of want to switch it because I think my number 2 actually would be Jeremiah Harmon.
Jeremiah, all right. Jeremiah was also my third place, but I'm going to give him to Eric because I want to then be able to add a different contestant because there's 4 contestants for me. That's not fair. All right, I won't then. So we'll both just say Jeremiah third then, right?
I'm actually gonna bump him up to second now that I think about it some more.
All right, tell me why.
Because I think he's got a really nice voice, really likable guy. Heartbreaking story because I just hate his parents so freaking much right now. And of all the guys this season, he's the only one I would actually be happy with winning.
I got to tell you, Jeremiah kind of came into this round, in my opinion, as one of the favorites, and he is coming out of the weeks still a favorite. I think he's another contender, honestly. I was kind of thinking that
of all the people that you like and that I think have a shot at winning, he's the only one I'd be happy with.
Yeah. I was kind of worried that people maybe wouldn't be invested in him enough to vote, but I think that's totally not what I thought it would be. I was looking on polls online. He is consistently either first or second. It's him and one other contestant who I am going to want to talk about right after. But I got to say, he's a favorite at this point. We will talk about his performance during the top 20 week. I believe he had the best performance that round also. And this is a good trajectory he's on. I genuinely, like I said, there's 3 contestants that I believe have pulled a bit ahead of the pack. And in my opinion, they are Lacey, Jeremiah, and Alejandro, who we will talk about. This is just my opinion. I believe the winner is going to be one of those 3 contestants. I think they are so far. Orlane, and Alejandro also. There's a lot of good contestants this season. But Jeremiah, he gets an A for me for this round. He is another favorite that I think he could win, Eric.
I hope so, because he's the only one that I think could win that I wouldn't be hugely disappointed by.
All right, so that is going to be our top 3 both of this episode. There are just going to be a quick little few contestants I do just want to give a shout out really quickly to. First is the one contestant who I would have put in my third place if I could have. It is Alejandro Aranda doing Yellow. Another winner from this guy. He is blowing up. People are him and Jeremiah, every poll, it's them, they're neck and neck. And I'll be honest, I go back and forth. I can't even pick between the two of them. If that is the final two, I'm going to have no idea who wins. Like this is a superb batch of talent. And these two, I think, are the cream of the crop of what we're given. And Eric is shaking his head for you audio listeners, but I agree. He mentions that he does have his voice isn't the strongest. I totally agree.
More of it not being the strongest. That's the euphemism. His voice is really weak, actually.
But the thing is, he's like Scotty. He's sticking to his lane. He's not going for those bigger
That's not
songs.
the way to get me to like him, by the way.
I'm sorry, but Scotty won. Like,
oh, I'm not saying Alejandro couldn't win. He could very easily win the show. But for me, it's worst case scenario.
Those two, Eric, I think they are the really special. They are the golden ones. Alejandro and Jeremiah. I think one of them is probably maybe going to win. I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong.
Alejandro is probably the winner at this point, but I'm hoping I'm wrong.
Yeah, he like on Facebook, people are like, of all the comments.
I know people love him, and I just don't want to keep saying that I'm not a fan because it's not that nice, but I'm not, and I don't see a way that I could be, and I'm so sad about that.
All right, well, let's talk about one last contestant that I just want to kind of bring a quick mention to of the top 20 of the Green Mile round, and that is a contestant that I came into this season kind of with very high hopes, and I'm starting to get incredibly worried for this contestant right now. This is Alyssa Ragu, who opened the Green Mile round doing "Dear Future Husband" by Meghan Trainor, which is a song I absolutely hate. Cannot stand that song. It's awful. It's awful. There's so many bad messages that are going on in that song.
Not to mention that it's also as if the song wasn't, the lyrics weren't bad enough. This audio of the song is identical to "Dance With Me Tonight" by Ellie Merck, which is a much better song. Continue.
Anyway, I came into this season really hoping for Alyssa's success. I love the comeback stories, but these 2 episodes have me really nervous. I think she's going to be in big trouble coming up, Eric. What are your thoughts?
I think so too. Honestly, she hasn't picked songs that are right for her at all.
Yeah, the thing is, a note that was kind of sticking out to me is in all her intro packages, they always show a clip of Katy Perry saying, your stage presence is a little bit forgettable. And I feel like Alyssa took that note and kind of ran with it. At
the expense of all of her things.
That's exactly what I'm saying. She is trying so hard to kind of correct that note that she's forgetting everything else that we liked about her. I want to see a ballad from her. Have we seen a full ballad from her? I want to see.
Not this season, we haven't.
She's working so hard on working the stage. There's a contestant that is very near and dear to my heart, but there was one aspect of this contestant's run. It's Holly Kavanagh from season 7, where she kind of went inside her head. And when she's performing and she's smiling and dancing, you could see her head is, I'm watching the screen going, she totally performed this in front of a mirror 300 times to the point where it kind of lost the meaning of what she's doing. It's kind of become a little bit robotic. And I hate that because I love Alyssa and I really wanted to root for her. And I'm really, really hoping that she can turn it around because this is a contestant that was in my top 5 and is now kind of fallen down to maybe my lower than that.
You know who gives me hope right now? Katie Turner. Because remember this round we were not sold on Katie at all. Remember?
That is a very good point. I didn't even think of that. That's a very good comparison. Katie Turner
round, and I think people can. So,
Eric, I want to get your opinion. What are your thoughts on Alyssa Ragu?
I'm torn because I feel like her voice is good. It's not spectacular, and she hasn't been picking the right songs for herself.
She needs to get out of obsession with Katy Perry's notes.
In particular, the Monday Night performance, which we'll get to in a minute. I thought that one was a really bad song for her.
Catherine Turner in the chat saying, yeah, Katie. I hope Alyssa can do a turnaround. I want to ask you, if you're watching, did you get to meet Alyssa while you were in Hollywood Week? I don't know if you went with Katie to Hollywood Week, but if you did you get the chance to meet Lane, and Alyssa. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Otherwise, any really big notes that you kind of want to touch on for the Green Mile episode?
Let's move on to Monday.
There is just one final thing I do just want to bring up really quickly. We did see some cuts. We lost some big contestants. Is there anyone you're maybe hoping to return next season from the contestants that we lost?
Shay.
Yes, Shay. Why was she cut? Like, she was one of the top contestants. I don't get it. Otherwise, for me, I'm just looking really quickly. We didn't get to see Peyton Taylor, who is a contestant who was on last season. I remember her, but we didn't see anything of her.
Myra, I think, was a little bit of a travesty as well, to be honest, even though she screwed it up.
Yeah, I feel bad for Myra. I felt bad when they cut her. Like, but otherwise, yeah, I think Kai the singer, I do just want to give a shout out to, really improved. I want to see her back. Maybe I do like that they kind of vary the performances with a lot more contestants that were cut. Nate Walker, another one. Otherwise, yeah, let's move on to the recap of the episode.
Let's.
All right, so we kind of gave a bit of a broad overview of the Green Mile. Now we are going to get a bit more in depth. We're going to go a little bit more nitty gritty with these contestants. We are going to go through them all. First off, Eric, I want to ask, this has been one of my favorite rounds always. The first live show, it kind of sets the mood for the rest of the season. What did you think about how it was as a whole?
First of all, it's not the first live show because A, we couldn't vote, and B, we could still hear the judges talking. So for me, those two things distracted so much from what should have been a much better show that we'll get to the judges talking soon, but it got really annoying. I did not watch the judges' comments for most of these performances, but I still watched the judges because they were interjecting for every single one of these performances, and it drove me crazy.
That's why we need the live show.
What?
That's why we need it to be an actual live show.
Exactly, because then they don't have the judges mic'd for the whole thing, and it drives me crazy. It pisses me off so much when I hear Lionel talking over everything.
I just want to really quickly give a shout out in our chat. Raylan, I think that's how you pronounce your name. Correct me if I'm wrong. She says she's sad that Margie Mays was cut. You know, I would have maybe put her through, honestly. There were some contestants that did go through that maybe I like her, but they what?
We'll get there.
All right. Are we gonna talk about Margie later?
No. We'll get to the one that shouldn't have gotten through on that.
I want her to come back, Margie Mays. She's one contestant. Raylan also says she loves Ashley. I love Ashley too. I really hope that these were not my favorite performances of hers, but we'll talk about her in a minute. Otherwise, let's get into our recap. So first up, I posted this on Twitter during the episode, and some people liked it. I thought it was funny. Do you remember what we used to be able to vote during this round? Why can't we vote?
Remembers.
Beverage Farm remembers. I missed that. This was like I said, the top 24, top 20 round has always been my favorite. It's the first, like, you get to see the contestants. Are they going to live up to the hype? Are they going to be able to handle the pressure? It's a different ball game. I truly believe that Hollywood Week and the Green Mile round it's a totally different game. You are now fully like a player in the game, and now you are making choices that will decide if you win or lose the game. It is, well, usually up to our hands, in America's hands. But, I can kind of imagine they do this because they want to structure it where they can get all the guests to come on with the judges. So it's a compromise I get, but it still kind of makes me sad. Eric, what do you think about the change in format for voting?
I'm obviously against it. I like being able to vote. One other minor thing I like to point out is that it's really weird now that the finale of Idol is in the regular studio. It's really weird that the biggest stage these contestants are going to perform in front of is during Top 24 week.
Yeah, it was a huge stage. There were a lot of people
so
there.
Weird that like they start off in bigger venues and then they get smaller as they go on. That doesn't seem right to me for some reason.
All right. Also, we get Bobby Bones as a mentor very briefly. Is that all he does? Like, we didn't see any intro clips. Like, I really want to hear like an insider contestant.
Coming, but I'm not sure I want to hear it because last season when we heard it wasn't that great. It was
it's generic. Go for it. Don't let things hold you back, which is so helpful.
It was shades of Randy. So let's keep going.
All right. For the episode, I want to say very backloaded episode. The last half, the best talent in my opinion came in the last section of the episode. And one last thing, I promise we'll get to the contestants in a sec. This is a rant that I've been holding in for so long. Eric is like, for audio only, Eric is giving me a look. We need to talk about the people who are in the audience. Like when you go to an audience, if you're an audience member of American Idol, you have one job, and two jobs: smile for the camera, and also when a contestant performs a slow song and you do the swaying, you gotta sway in time. It's so awful. You have one job, people. How hard is it?
Or it's better yet, don't sway at all. Isn't that an option too?
No, I'm okay with them swaying, but you gotta do it right. How hard is it? It's so out of time. It takes me so out of the performance. And people used to mention this, but now that I look out for it and I see it happening, I can't miss it. It's like, why are you doing that wrong?
Okay.
All right. Anyway, let's get into the contestants. So, first up, Madison Vandenberg performing Domino by Jessie J. First off, I want to say, very brave to do this song. Jessie J's songs are ridiculously hard. Her and Katy Perry, I believe, have some of the hardest songs to perform.
I think Jessie J's songs are much harder than Katy Perry's.
All right. Well, what did you think about Madison opening the show?
I thought, again, she's in a league of her own. For me, she's so good. The vocals were excellent. The personality was excellent. She was working the crowd. She knows what she's doing. She's 17 and she's a consummate pro up there. So I really like her a lot. Now go ahead and shit all over her.
No, the one thing I want to know is if she chose the song for herself, because this is usually one of those songs that's kind of the producers, they kind of walk on over to.
You know what? It's a relatively new song. It's upbeat.
It's not that old. This is a pretty old song,
but it's contemporary enough considering.
All right, I got it. I get what you're saying, but for me, I wrote down she rocked it. It is difficult. The fact that this wasn't a train wreck is saying something on its own, because this is Jessie J.
Not a train wreck,
and it wasn't a train wreck. I was going to say it was pretty good. She reminds me a little bit. This is going to be a comparison you probably aren't going to get. Skylar Lane from season 11 of American Idol.
Oh, because Skylar's country and Madison isn't.
The energy is kind of what I'm getting. Like, they both have this kind of hyped energy, and I kind of got it from Madison. Like I said, I would like to see her back behind the piano, because for me, I'll be honest, I gave this performance a B+. Did you agree, Eric?
Boo.
I gave it a B+.
Boo.
But I think she's 100% capable of an A+ performance. I want her back behind the piano. I want a ballad. I want no sway bots because that bothers me. But she's capable of something magical. I believe that this was not the best showing of Madison, but I feel like that's good, because that when she does bring the piano out and she does go for the big moment, it's going to make it that much more great. Do you agree?
No,
do you agree?
I don't, because I thought that was an A already. So continue.
All right. You gave it an A?
I gave it an A.
All right. I'm also going to do this thing that I haven't done before, but I think now that we're in this kind of live round show, there are a lot of polls that kind of share the information of what people are feeling about the contestants. So I'm referencing tvline.com's poll, and on that poll, Madison came in 8th of the top 20. I think she should maybe get 1 or 2 more spots higher. Do you agree, Eric?
Or 5 or 6 or 7.
Yeah. I don't have anything bad to say about Madison. She is a very solid performer. I think she is very capable of breaking into my top 5. I'm just waiting she's kind of just given songs that aren't the moment, and she can. All she needs is the right song. And that's all my thoughts.
Okay, move on.
Let's talk about Sean Robinson performing Jealous by Nick Jonas. I love this song. First of all, I can't believe it's 5 years old. Oh my God. But what did you think about Sean's performance?
Good, not spectacular. He seemed to go off a bit towards the end a little bit, actually.
Yeah, I didn't love this one. I felt, for me, it came across very dry. Like it was kind of just unmemorable, which is a little harsh to say, but I'll be honest, like I came away from this performance going, you sang it well, but I'm not going to remember it. There's something, I don't know what it is that he's missing, but there's something, I don't connect with any of his performances. And for me, he's basically a fodder act. And I don't like saying that, but I think he's had a lot of chances to give us something special, and he kind of hasn't yet. Okay. What are your thoughts?
Pretty much that.
In the chat, I'm Hannahbound says she loves the song Jealous. Me too. I love that song.
I like the Labyrinth one better, but
I hate that song. Not a fan.
We're just not agreeing on anything today. We'll call this episode "The Adam is Wrong Hour."
That's the title. Sean Robinson, for me, I gave him a B-. It was good. Wasn't anything that really stood out to me. On TV Line's poll, he came in last.
Wow. He came. He came behind.
He came in last.
Behind Kate, behind Logan, behind Raquel,
all the way in the last.
Oh God, that's not right.
I don't think he was that.
He was 16th or 17th for me.
It's just that he wasn't memorable for like he didn't really stand out.
Okay,
he had 0.4 of the vote on TVLine.com.
I need a paper so I can throw it behind like next. Remember that SNL character?
All right, well, let's move on to Lane Hardy, who I do have a bit more notes to talk about. He's performing Bring It On Home by Sam Cooke. Every time I hear the song, I'm always brought back to the X Factor when Panda performed this song, and it kind of hasn't been imprinted in my mind. I hadn't heard the Sam Cooke version. I heard Panda's version first. So in my mind, it's more a Panda song than a Sam Cooke song, which is all kinds of messed up. But what did you think about him, Eric?
Better than I thought he was at first, but still not a huge fan of his. You go.
This is another winner for me. I really, like I said, I can't say this enough. People are going to vote for this guy. Like he reminds me.
They are.
They're going to come out in droves to vote for him. And I'm waiting to see like when the votes start to come in and if he's, well, we're not going to know if he's in danger, but he's country. He's a much better version of Caleb Lee Hutchinson is what I kind of get the vibe on. He looks like an Idol winner. He's picking good songs. He hasn't had a dud yet this season. He's continuing to impress me. I think he's got the full package. I gave him an A-.
I gave him a B-.
On the TV Line poll, he came in 5th. I can kind of see that. I think there are a few contestants that could be the upset to Lane, but I think I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up taking it all, Eric.
Okay, we'll see.
All right. Otherwise, let's move on to Uche. That name has grown on me. I really like saying it. It's a cool name. He's performing Figures by Jesse Reyes. He calls himself Mr. Entertainment. And while I was watching his performance, I was on my phone glancing at Twitter, and all of a sudden he says, I want to be the type of entertainer that will make you put your phone down. And I just was like, wait, what? I was like, is he talking to me? Mm-hmm. What did you think about his performance, Eric?
I see a ton of potential with him. I thought this was the performance that I finally got a little excited about him. And I thought the vocals was his best so far in the competition by a mile. And performance was great. Vocals were finally good. I think if he delivers more like this, he could go far.
I'm also very high on Uche. Uche. I love saying that name. For me, there was actually an interview I think I read, I think it was about him, where he says he's kind of going to do his own thing for the season, which we kind of got the vibe from already. And I love that about him. I love that he is one of those contestants that's going to look at the other contestants and he's going to go, okay, you're doing that. I'm going to do something entirely different. He is like the dream contestant that I always want to root for on the show. Can he win? I really don't think so. But I'm going to enjoy seeing his Idol run is really what I can say. I gave him a B+ for me, Eric. What about you?
A-.
Yeah, the thing is, I just don't see voters voting for him. Like I would vote for him
because the voters suck.
Yeah, the voters suck, but I'm very excited about Uche. He is in my like personal favorite like contestants that I don't think can really win, but I'm still kind of rooting for, and I'm kind of like you can do it, dude. You can make it.
You know what I'm thinking of, honestly? What just popped in my mind is that scene from a Family Guy movie where Peter's like, you know what really grinds my gears, America? You. F you.
Uche, I'm very excited to see his run. I can't say that enough. I want to see what he's going to do. On TV Line, he came in 6th, which, you know, that does give me some hope.
That's better than Hollywood, which is good because he deserves to be that.
All right. Any final thoughts on Uche? Uche. I love saying it.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Nope.
Let's keep going. All right. Let's talk about Eddie Island, who I have a bit more notes for him. He is performing Ho Hey by the Lumineers, which is a song I think should be performed more on these shows. Like, this is one of those songs that I personally never get tired of hearing. I could hear this song a million times. I listen to it when I go for walks. It's like, it brings me, it makes me feel like I'm at a campfire. Like, it feels like, it kind of has that, like, I don't know what it is. I love this song. What did you think about Eddie, Eric?
I didn't really have much comments about Eddie, as many as I had about the judges, honestly. Because this was the part where the judges really got on my nerves, and I wrote in my notes, the judges, I think, just shut the F up. And I was sad that he didn't have the googly eyes on his guitar.
But I didn't even notice. He didn't?
My eyes are staring at that guitar past those googly eyes.
I wrote down for my notes, this was a very good week for Eddie. Like, I feel like going into this week, a lot of people were kind of maybe discounting him. For me, this is, I'm starting to look at Eddie Island. I'm giving him a second look. I kind of had discounted him. He was kind of in my lower bracket. Now he's kind of moved up. He's in my like 5 to 10 bracket, where he's kind of my second favorites, second batch of favorites. I love this performance. I believe this is my favorite performance of his all season. And believe it or not, because I just love it, I don't know if it's just because I love this song, but this is one of the 2 performances I've just been re-listening to since watching since the show aired. I don't know. If I could think of one note, it would have been, I think Eddie and Wade, who we'll talk about all the way at the end, I think their songs should have been switched. I think Wade should have done Ho Hey and Eddie should have done All I Want. But otherwise, this was a good performance. I give it a B+, honestly.
I give it a B.
Yeah, I'm getting more, like I wrote, I'm getting more.
I put the 2 eyes in the B, so, you know.
I got that. I'm getting more invested in Eddie's run. I think I'm getting very excited. A lot of people are comparing him to Katie Turner. Eric, do you kind of agree with that comparison?
No, because Walker is the one I compared to Katie Turner.
All right. What grade did you give him?
I said I gave him a B with the googly eyes.
All right. I'm sorry. On TV Line, he came in 12th. I think he deserves a little higher, honestly, but
somewhere around there.
All right. Well, let's move on to Evelyn Cormier, Leaving on a Jet Plane by John Denver. Are you a fan of this song, Eric?
I've never heard the song. I'm not a fan of it.
Never heard of this song.
I'm not a fan of Evelyn's voice, really.
All right. Well, what did you think about Evelyn's rendition of Leaving on a Jet Plane?
Not as grating as I thought it would be, but still not pleasant for me. Your turn.
I wrote down, she's very good, but I think she is one of those contestants that's going to get lost in the shuffle. I like this performance. She kind of does a little bit too much with her intonations, like she's kind of trying to put effort on each word, and it kind of really, you get what I was saying, Eric? Like, kind of, she kind of is like emphasizing things too much, and they kind of come out sounding weird, where I'm like, just say the word. Like, you don't need to put this weird spin on saying the word. Just say it plain. A lot of people like her. I think, though, if she makes it through this round, I think she'll be in trouble pretty soon. I don't know. I don't know if people will really get on and vote for her, is kind of what I'm saying. Like, she's one of those contestants that's kind of mid-tier, kind of getting lost in the shuffle. There's just other contestants more people are going to root for, and I don't think Evelyn's going to be that person.
Correct. Next.
Yeah. I find myself like unable to connect with her when she sings. Like, it just doesn't. I can't get invested. I don't know what it is, but that's just something for me. It wasn't a bad performance at all. It was light. It was just nothing that great. I also spent a lot of time during this performance. The light that was shining down on her made her hair look pink. And I was thinking, did she dye her hair? And I kept staring at her trying to.
So I have a second there. Here's how tired I am today. I'm like, did you just dye your hair? I'm like, oh no, I was wearing a hat. That's how out of it I am. All of a sudden. I've been looking at you for the past hour, and I still thought that, oh, maybe he dyed his hair pink.
No, it's a hat.
I know it's a hat, but I'm so tired, Adam.
All right. For me, I gave her a B. Not terrible, but
B minus C+.
It was okay.
For me.
On TV Line, she came in 9th.
Really? That high?
Which is pretty high, I think. But she has some people rooting for her. All right, let's move on to a contestant we talked about a little bit earlier in the show, Alyssa Ragu. Man, this was a rough week for Alyssa. I really want to root her, and I'm
not
still
a fun week for Alyssa.
What?
Ching.
What?
Not a fun week for her, but I'm Ching.
Oh God. She's doing Ain't It Fun by Paramore. There was just one thought in my head during this performance, which is a terrible thought, which is it would be pretty terrible if they cut her this round again. Like, I couldn't stop thinking that. But what did you think about Alyssa?
Not a good song choice for Alyssa.
Yeah, like I said, this is another. I don't know if she's being forced into these songs. I hope she's not picking them on her own, because that would really scare me. I think she's really running with that note for that Katy Perry gave her, where you need to be more like presentable on the stage, where you kind of need to work it a little bit more and like get people more invested. I think that's totally wrong advice, though, which is so ironic. I'm just looking at my other. I miss the old Alyssa. Like, I want, when she came in for her audition and it was just her with her guitar, I want that Alyssa back. I want to see a ballad. I want to see something softer. She's kind of just done these up-tempo songs kind of the entire run. I want to see her switch it up. Like I said, this performance, more than the other one earlier that we talked about in the show, it reminded me like I could see her going over in her head, like, all right, this is the time when I look at the camera. This is when I wave. This is when I touch the hands and do like sway bot thing. I don't know. It feels like it's okay if you do that, but if it comes across in your performance, that's a big problem. And I think I'm really worried for her. Alyssa, you got to switch it up. I'm pulling for you. I am one of your biggest fans this season. I really hope you can pull this together, because I really want you to make it a few more rounds, Eric. What did you think otherwise?
I think that we can move on, because I don't have anything else to say about her. Sorry.
Yeah, I wrote down in my notes, and I didn't even realize this was a pun after I wrote, the judges are pushing her into a lane she shouldn't be. Get it? Because lane, like, no.
Worst pun ever.
On TV Line, she came in 16th. Yikes. But like I said, she has a beautiful voice. I really hope we don't lose her early. The song ended awkwardly also, and I hate it, but I had to give her a B minus.
Okay.
All right. Otherwise, shall we keep it going? Let's talk about Ryan Hammond. He's performing You Say by Lauren Daigle. How do you pronounce her name, Eric?
I don't know.
All right. I've never heard this song, and it's a pretty beautiful song. I really like it. I actually looked it up on YouTube. He has a really beautiful voice. It's very, very good. But for me, this is one of those contestants where it's strong voice isn't everything. There's kind of got to be that little extra ragu sauce a little bit in it, where it's kind of pure vocals doesn't. We kind of get these contestants they come around where it's just pure vocals won't carry you alone. What did you think about his performance?
For me, it was my top 5 of the night. Honestly, I thought it was really good. I don't get what you're saying. I thought his voice was excellent. This was a great performance in my top 5.
It was a great performance. I agree with you, but I just couldn't connect with it. I was thinking like, I don't know. It was kind of like, it didn't get me excited for his run. Like, I was watching this thinking like, you're good, but I need something a little more. Like, this is it's kind of just laying there at parts, but he's got a solid voice. He's a good singer is what I can really say.
Okay, I don't get why you say that about him and you like people like Lacey, but we'll get to that another time.
All right. Well, Ryan, I give him a B. How about you?
A minus.
All right. He came in 12th on TV Line, which is yeah, that's about right for
I
me.
wouldn't say so, but okay.
All right. Let's move on to Raquel Trinidad. She's performing Loveful by the Cardigans. This was my first moment of the night where I sent a tweet on Twitter. That's an oxymoron. And I said, like, this reminded me of that moment in SpongeBob where Patrick comes home and he sees all these random eyes poking out of his rock and he goes, "Who are you people?" I have no idea who this girl is. I think we touched on her like once, but otherwise she kind of just popped out of nowhere. What did you think?
Well, I don't remember much because I wrote basically a sleepy nothing performance. I didn't get excited about it at all, honestly.
Yeah, I wrote down this was very forgettable. Like I couldn't I don't know who she is. This is not so much her fault as much as it is the producers for not like trying to show her some more. But yeah, this is a classic example of a fodder contestant, I believe, Eric.
Yep. Next contestant.
I gave her a B minus. On TV Line, she came in 17th, which
I give her at most a C plus at best.
I don't think she was terrible. I think it was just this is the first time.
Forgettable.
All right. Well, let's move on to Logan Johnson performing "Love Don't Live Here Anymore," which a lot of people were excited about this song. Are you familiar with it, Eric?
Nope.
I wasn't either, but it was a good song. Logan, like I said, he's our Sam Wolf of the season, I feel. This was kind of a dud, though. I don't know what it was about this performance, but for me, this is kind of like a more somber song, and he kind of performed it singing, like smiling a lot, like and looking into the audience. And I was thinking, why are you smiling? Like, for a moment, I almost had a vision of the Starship Enterprise flying over American Idol, and all of a sudden Harry Connick Jr. is beamed onto the stage right next to Logan and goes, "Do you even know what the song is about?"
Okay.
Now, Eric.
I'm all for. I don't get that reference at all. Anyway, I thought this was exactly the same as what I said about Raquel, which is a sleepy nothing performance.
Yeah, I wanted to root for. I wanted to root for Logan. I wanted him to be good, but he could get like the Daniel Levy treatment where I could totally see like the voters totally rallying behind him. He is going to be a hit with the key demographic of American Idol's viewers, but yeah, it kind of just laid there and didn't really go anywhere. The performance, I gave it a B minus. What about you, Eric?
Same as I gave Raquel. I give it a C plus.
All right, Logan came in 15th on TV Line.
That high? Okay. Well, there was so many get cut, but
all right. Well, let's move on to Demetrius Graham performing by far, hands down, the strangest rendition of "Hello" by Adele that I've heard in my entire life. It starts with this weird opera intro, which what did you think, Eric?
channeling the ghost of Simon Cowell. What the bloody hell was that? It took me like halfway through the performance to get over that opening. But after I got over it, I kind of liked it. Kind of, sort of.
There's a meme that's just not coming to my mind right now. It's someone, I don't know who, saying, "Why are you doing this? No one asked for this." I couldn't get past that opera intro. It was just, it totally took me out of the performance. Yeah. But once I tried to separate it, it was good. It wasn't amazing. It was okay. But man, like I don't know if he's done this because we haven't seen all of his performances. If he kind of does these weird twists on things, some risks are better left not taken. Demetrius is what I can kind of say. There's some risks that are good. This was a weird. I don't understand. I give it a B though, honestly.
Okay.
What about you?
Okay.
No grade?
Sure. I was just so confused by that opening.
He came in 11th.
Really?
On TV Line, which is I thought really high. But
really, that's surprising to me.
Yeah, they get a lot of voters, so it's the closest thing I can imagine to what's the reflection in reality would be. I think if he makes it through, I think he's going to be one of the first one cuts there. First 100%. One cut. Do you 100%.
Agree? We didn't see his audition, so that doesn't help his case. Next.
All right. Riley Thompson is up next. She's performing Jolene by Dolly Parton. And at this point, I want Harry Connick Jr. to still be there so he could yell at Riley Thompson. Do you even know what the song is about? You get that, Eric. That was what he would say all season when he was the judge. He would say, so like, first of all, Jolene is a song about a woman begging someone not to take her lover. Like, it's a very like emotional song. And Riley is a 16-year-old girl, and she's smiling through this entire performance. And I'm just going, what are you doing? Like,
why are you people happy?
Like this is not a song to be like smiling and dancing to. Like this was the one time where I kind of missed Harry Connick Jr. I was like, you need him to tell her, like, this is not a song that you should be singing. You can't connect with it. There's no level of emotional connection you're going to be able to have with a song of this level. There are songs that you can sing. There are better songs that are in your lane that will do you well to perform. But this, why are you singing this song? Honestly, Eric, I think at this point she's out of her league. I don't see people voting for her. Honestly, if she makes it through, I think she's one of the first ones to go.
Probably.
This is one of my lowest grades I gave of the night. It was a C. There's also some really rough notes that she hit here. What about you?
I'd give it a C minus.
On TV Line, she came in 14th.
Wow. That's higher than I expected. Okay.
Well, there's some other contestants that need to fill that. Like,
sure.
All right, let's talk about Walker, because Walker, he kind of brought the mood of the episode a little bit up. He's performing "How Deep Is Your Love" by the Bee Gees. I absolutely love this song. I wish he had done this by piano, but what did you think?
I love the acapella intro. He's got a great tone. That's all I wrote. B+.
Yeah, I also gave it a B+. I wrote he's good, but he is competing with a very difficult bracket right now. He has an uphill battle ahead of him, and I don't really know if he's that up to it. He's too kind of gosh darn, like golly gee, to be kind of taken as a serious contender like the way Lane is. But I like Walker. I think, though, he needs to – my advice to him is know your strengths, get back behind the piano. This is what I say to all the contestants. If you can play an instrument, use that instrument. Like, it separates you, because if you're just there standing on a stage, an instrument kind of brings your memorability up a little bit. Do you think, Eric, or am I wrong?
I don't know. I was totally lost because you said gosh darn golly gee and in your notes, and I'm like, okay, I just totally tuned out at that point. Sorry. You lost me.
I think he's good, though. Like, I don't know if he's gonna make it into the top 5. I think top 5 is the best he's gonna go.
He's in my personal top 5. Okay.
All right. I didn't write down where he made on TV Line, so 1, 2, 3. He came in 7th on TV Line, which is that makes it. That's about
around there.
That's about right. I can get behind that. Next up, we have. Oh gosh, I don't even. We have Bumbly performing "Vision of Love" by Mariah Carey. This is another one of those cases where I wrote, where I put the gif of Patrick going, "Who are you people?"
Mm-hmm.
Have we saw her once or twice? Have we, Eric?
I think we've seen her before. But last week's title was almost a pun about her.
What was the pun?
I forget.
I just can't take someone serious who's gonna call themselves Bumbly. Like,
oh, it was 100%. Yeah, but last week she was the title of last week's episode somehow. Google it.
First of all, why are you doing Mariah Carey songs?
Why are you doing this Mariah Carey song in particular?
Second of all, why are you doing this during like Rush Week? Like, this is not. If you're gonna do a Mariah Carey song, there are better Mariah Carey songs to do,
and better time to do them. Like,
but she is one of the hardest singers to sing as. Like, her songs are like Mount Everest, and I just see like Bumbly with like a little pick, and she's gonna try and get to the top. Like it's not gonna work. Like there are much easier hills. Like right over here, there's like a Bumbly
using
hill.
a Q-tip to try to climb Mount Everest.
Like what? You're setting yourself up for failure, and you don't need to do that. There are better songs that are more in your lane. I don't know if she was forced into the song. I hope not, because I would much rather, if a contestant is going to go down, I would rather them go down on their own merits. But she just wanted. She went to the Mount Everest of songs, and it's like, I got this. And what are you going to do?
I have like 5 different episode titles right now. One of them is using a toothpick to climb Mount Everest.
It was a little pick, like a little, I don't know, a fork. Series
like
1 14 events.
Like the thing, what you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. For me though, I gave Bumbly a C. This is a fodder contestant.
I gave it B- actually.
Yeah, there were some pitchy notes here. I took some points off for that.
Pitchy notes that I, just no. Okay.
On TV Line, she came in 19th.
Wow.
I don't like being mean. I
gave her a B-. Okay. Sorry, everybody.
We've got 5 contestants left to talk about. First up, we have...
No, we have 6.
6. I'm sorry. I apologize. We have Ashley Hess.
Who do you want to skip over?
I got to tell you, from this point on, this is the best part of the entire week. These next 6 performances.
#Idol disagree.
#Idol standing with Adam. Ashley Hess performing Dreamin' with a Broken Heart. My favorite contestant this season. This week was a bit of a step back, though, for me. I think that she was top tier. I had her in my number 1 spot. She was my number 1 pick, and now she's kind of top 5 for me. She was kind of reaching too far in parts for this song. There were some bigger notes that she was going for, and I'm like, oh, you're so close, but she just missed it. And I think that this kind of gets me a little nervous for her upcoming run, Eric. What do you think about Ashley?
In my top 5 overall, great performance, lovely tone. I like others more than her.
I'm really getting nervous for her. Her and Alyssa are kind of they're making me nervous. It's kind of giving me a little bit of flashbacks to Mara from last season, where it's kind of that contestant that you're excited for all season, and then you start to kind of get a little worried when things start to go a little off the rails. I'm hoping she can recover from this. I love her behind a piano. It's the best thing ever. I love watching her perform behind it. But I don't know. What do you make of Ashley moving forward? What do you think she needs to do to kind of make it to the finale? I
don't know, but I think she has a good shot if she can deliver the right song choices, I guess.
I am waiting for one more. Like I'm gearing up to put her back in my number 1 spot. I'm like, Ashley, I just need one like very solid performance, and you will be right up there. I'm hoping you can do it. I believe in you. You are still my favorite contestant, but I really need to see a little bit more. I gave her, though, a B+.
A- for me.
All right. Well, Ashley came in 9th place on tvline.com.
Okay.
2, 3. I'm just 4, 5, 6, 7. 9. Yeah, 9th place. I have to count down.
9.
Sorry.
That's 9.
That's All right. Next up, we have TCO.
Alejandro Aranda.
The chosen one, Alejandro Aranda. He's performing "I Fall Apart" by Post Malone. I wrote down in my notes, perfect song choice. This was perfect for him. It's right in his lane. He is keeping up his streak. He is one of the 3 contestants I think can win. I truly believe it. He has a lot of people. I wouldn't be mad if he won, Eric.
No comments I can make without belaboring the point. I'm done talking about it.
I gave him an A- for me. This was
C+.
Another winner for me. C+
at best.
Wow, this is going to be, I feel like a hot topic we're going to be talking about on Adam's TV podcast moving forward. Now I know I don't have to pick him first for our draft.
You do not. You don't. You can pick him whenever you want. I think he's got no. Because the draft's not who I want to win, but who I think is going to win. I'm going to pick him first because I think
no.
Despite the fact that I don't like him, I do think he has the best shot at winning of anybody right now.
I gotta hope I win that coin toss at this point.
You.
I'm very high. Eric, as low as you are on Alejandro, I'm very 100% on board. I love his performances. I love his voice. He is like gearing to go.
Playing.
What?
I love his guitar skills.
Well, anyway, like I said, I gave him an A-, and on TVLine.com, where do you think he was?
First.
Number 1, Alejandro Aranda.
Of course he was. People love him for some reason. I don't get the reason, but people love him.
All right. Any final thoughts?
None that I can make without belaboring the point.
All right. Next up, we have Kate Barnett performing Sunday Morning by Maroon 5, another contestant. There were like 3 of them that I was just like, where did you come from? But of the 3 that kind of popped out of nowhere, Kate's my favorite. The word that came to mind when she's performing, it's a very old school word. She's groovy. Like she just seems like a cool chick. What did you think?
I thought she made Alejandro's voice look strong, and that's all I have to say.
She's really good though. Like she is my breakout. Like you jumped out of nowhere, and I like you. You're good. I give this a B+.
C.
For Kate?
Yes. C.
I love this performance. Kate was very solid. Don't know if people will take to her because she's kind of popping out of nowhere, but she is very good. She's kind of mid-tier for me.
Okay, sure.
I don't know where she came on the TV Line thing. Oh, I can see she came in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She came in 14th place on TVLine.com.
Okay.
That's solid. Well, actually.
Well, that would mean that people agree with me more than they do with you. So yay.
All right, let's talk about the big 3 contestants. They're not the biggest 3, but 2 of them are.
2 of them are.
2 of them are. Jeremiah Lloyd Harmon performing "To Make You Feel My Love" by Bob Dylan. There were 2 performances from this episode that I've been constantly replaying. One of them is Eddie Island because I just love the song Ho Hey, and the other "To Make You Feel My Love." This was the only A performance I gave of the night. What did you think, Eric?
It's one of the 2 A performances I would give of the night.
I gave A-, but he's the only one to get like a full A, like for me. I don't know.
I'm talking about full A's. I think Madison was a full A and Jeremiah was a full A. He's in my top 2 this season, personally. I loved this performance. Loved it. He's one of the only ones I can say right now that I would pay to see them live.
Jeremiah had a very good week. Like,
of all the contestants so far, period, I'd say.
Of all the contestants, he could maybe overtake Alejandro. I don't know if he can.
I hope so, because I like him so much more.
I enjoyed Jeremiah. He is, like I said, it's like 5 contestants that I've like. It's for me. It's Lacey, it's Ashley, it's Jeremiah, it's Lane, Alejandro, and did I say Lacey?
Yes, you did.
I said Lacey. Those are kind of my 5. Did I say Lane?
Yes, you did. You said all of the ones that we said before.
Lane. Madison would probably be in like 6th. Alyssa, hopefully, if she could turn things around, in 7th. But Jeremiah. There's not been a performance of his that I haven't thought was very good. He's kind of giving me shades of Dalton from The X Factor, where he's kind of just.
I don't think he's that good.
All right, he's not, but he's the closest we're going to get to a Dalton this season.
I don't think anyone's close to Dalton on the Idol this season. It's really sad. I think X Factor last season, but part of the reason I'm so negative of Idol this season is because last season of X Factor had the 2 best contestants I've seen on these shows in years, and I was having a real hard time living up to him.
I disagree. I love this talent. Like
I don't think anyone on this is even in the same universe as Dalton.
I'll put it this way. The X Factor has 2 of the best singers, but American Idol has more of an overall body that's more well-rounded with contestants.
Disagree. Next.
Jeremiah, very solid. On TV Line, he came in second. Very close, though. If I can just pull up.
Please let him be close. Please let him overtake.
Alejandro had 15.5% of the vote. Jeremiah had 13.7% of the vote, that's pretty close.
Okay. I can live with that.
Let's talk about Lacey K. Booth, who is very much growing on me. I'm thoroughly enjoying this girl. She's performing I Want You to Want Me. She is very close, like I said, to overlapping Ashley in my favorite bracket. It's those 2 right now that I'm really kind of super rooting for. I love this girl. She's effortless. Her voice is just, it's smoky, it's gorgeous. It's everything I love in a singer like her. I love her. I gave her an A-. What about you?
C plus. I always falling asleep. I'm sorry.
Oh man, I love this performance. Explain yourself.
She puts me to sleep. I'm sorry. She's not the type of person I enjoy listening to. I'm so sorry. I know that people love her and they have reasons to, and it's just a different type of thing that I enjoy.
Are you calling Lacey K. Booth a Jigglypuff?
What?
A Jigglypuff from Pokemon? The Pokemon that makes everyone fall asleep? No? You're not a Pokemon
Why
person?
did I not think of that immediately? No, I'm of course a Pokemon person. I could show you all my Pokemon crap all over my apartment if I wanted to. But
Eric is comparing Lacey K to a Jigglypuff.
no, I'm not. I'm not. Because she can sing. She's just not my thing at all.
She's top 3 for me. I love her. A-.
Okay.
What about you? Oh, well, all right. You gave it already. Lacey K. Booth came in 4th.
Oh, really? Okay.
Lacey had 12.4% of the vote, which
who's in 3rd?
Who we are about to talk to right now.
Wade was in 3rd?
Wade Coda performing All I Want by Codaline.
Wow.
Beautiful song that I think is not, as much as there are songs that I feel are performed too much on the show, there are songs that I want to hear more of contestants take on, and this is one of them. Wade Coda, for me, this week was a bit of a redemption for him. I think that a lot of people were kind of discounting him after what went down in Hollywood Week with him reading the words off his arm. But I'm seeing a new surge of people pulling for him. He's getting people. He's got a lot of people. What do you think about Wade, Eric?
Very unique voice, which is not necessarily a good thing. I thought the start of the performance was pretty awful. But as it went on, I got to the B plus A minus range for me. It got really good by the end. I actually enjoyed this by the end.
I'm starting to see him and Eddie Island are kind of like they're the two I think that are competing for the same kind of bracket. I think one of them is going to go home sooner than later. I would like it to be Wade who goes home and we can move forward with Eddie. What about you? If you were to choose between the two of them, who would you kind of be more inclined to go with?
Vote for the googly eyes.
Eddie Island is growing on me. He's like 8th for me on my list of contestants that I'm rooting for. Wade, for me, I like this performance. I give it a B plus, but
I gave it a B plus. I give it a B because the first part of it took it down from a B plus to a B for me.
All right. Well, that's going to be our coverage of the episodes. We're going to have some closing questions now, and then we will wrap things up. First off, Eric, I want to ask, you can pick 4 contestants to give your immediate, if this was American Idol 15 and you could give like the fast pass where you could skip around, who's getting your fast pass of these contestants? You can pick 4 and it's got to be 2 girls, 2 guys.
Well, here's my thing about the fast pass situation. I don't want anyone to skip around because I like hearing more performances from people I like. So honestly, I'm going to give the fast passes to people I don't like. So I'm going to cheat a bit. I'm going to give it to Lacey, to Alejandro. Yeah, those are the 2.
Let's rephrase the question then. Who are your favorite 4 contestants of the night? It could be boy or girl.
Much better question. That one doesn't carry any negative connotations with me. My favorite 4 are Jeremiah. Let's see, Madison. And then there's a gap, and then I would say, what else did I like? It's tougher at this point. I'm going through all the names and I'm having trouble, honestly. How about you go first, and then we'll edit this part out of the post.
So I'm gonna my top 4 is pretty easy to figure out. It's Jeremiah, Alejandro, Lacey, and for me that last spot, I'm going to probably go with Lane, honestly. I wanted to give it to Ashley, but I think those are going to be my 4.
Okay. Well, my 4, now that I've pulled back my notes up and I have the answers, are Madison, Jeremiah, Uche, and Probably Ashley.
Wow, it's kind of funny. You're the one giving Ashley like the
barely. For me, it's a clear top 3, and the rest are difficult.
All right, Eric, I gotta ask, who would you cut of this batch of contestants? If you are a judge, you've looked through all the contestants based on their performances alone. Who would you cut? Who would
not based on my personal preferences?
It could be whatever you want, Eric.
Okay, personal preferences. Because I'm afraid that they're gonna win, I would cut Lacey and Alejandro.
You're bad to ask that question too. I'm gonna go.
But the ones that I think we can all agree that we would cut. What?
6 people you got to cut. We're going to a top 14.
Well, it's easy. Well, not easy, but easier. Kate has to be one of them for me. Bumbly has to be one of them. Riley, I would say, is one of them. Logan and Raquel are 2 of them. And Evelyn.
I would cut Sean. I would maybe cut Evelyn. Raquel. I would want to stick around with Logan Johnson one more. I would definitely cut Riley, Bumbly, and my last one would probably be Demetrius. Honestly, that performance was just weird. Honestly, like, and I still can't. I'm going to see that in my nightmares.
Okay, fine.
All right, so that is kind of our episode. Eric, do you have any final thoughts on things you want to touch on from the episode? The contestants, any final thoughts? Now is your chance to forever hold your feet. Peace. What's the
I want to say that before we end, I want to say that I don't hate any of these contestants. They all seem like lovely people. And all of my negativity is about personal preference. And I wanted to reiterate that.
I just hate everyone.
I hate everyone, but it comes from a place of love.
All right. Well, I'm very excited. I'm super pumped for this season of American Idol. I'm gearing up. I'm ready.
At the very least, I'll have plenty to talk about.
Yes. Coming up next week, we have 4 hours of American Idol performances.
Yay, it's an improvement, I guess.
And we are also going to be doing our draft. Eric and I are going to be drafting. Once the contestants are cut down to a top 14, Eric and I are going to divide the team into 7 groups of 7. And now I know I have to really quickly pick Alejandro. He wouldn't have been my first pick.
Well, how about since he got first pick last year, I got first pick this year?
No, I got
that's fair.
Winner. We'll do a coin flip.
Well, either way, because you won last year, so you get the advantage, which is not fair.
What advantage?
Since you won last year, you get you won twice last year. 2 out of 3 drafts you won. So,
all right. Well, anyway,
I should get first pick.
All right. Well, I want to say I am Adam Samuel. You can find me on Twitter at AdamSoapbox or on my 2 websites, AdamSoapbox.com and AdamCVblog.com. I just posted a post on my AdamCVblog.com where I actually talk about a time where, for once in my life, I actually gave a performance and I was on a stage and I sang. And you could read all about how terrible it was. But where can we find you, Eric?
Well, first of all, you could say that my one time on stage ended with me crying and leaving the room.
No, it didn't end with me crying. I thought I gave the best performance
That's my
ever.
performance on stage. When I did karaoke once, that was me crying and leaving the room. Next, I am Eric Ascher. You can find me on Twitter, Eric_Ascher, Eric Ascher01 on YouTube, ericascher.com. I'll be posting my notes as usual after this episode ends. And subscribe, like the podcast. On iTunes, Spotify, Google Play Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you can't find the podcast where you're looking, let me know and I'll fix that. I hope I didn't piss any of you off today. I'm sure I probably did, but that'll be fun.
You only offended my hat by thinking it was my hair.
Sure. I'm sure I offended more than just that, but I'm sorry. It genuinely comes from a place. I just like these contestants and I like this show. And it's personal preference.
All right, guys. I guess we're going to cut it there, Eric, shall we?
I'm good there, but I'm actually one more thing. I'm going to put a Twitter poll up because I have 4 episode titles and I can't pick one of them. So I'm going to put up a Twitter poll of the 4 options.
All right, I will definitely retweet that once I see it. But guys, we will be back for 2 episodes next week of Adam CV Podcast, the episode covering the weekly episodes, and then we are going to be doing our draft, which is the podcast I've been most looking forward to all season because I've already got a thorough list of the contestants who I want in what order, and I'm excited. But guys, I guess until next time, we are signing off, and we will see you then. Bye. Peace. I say peace. I did it wrong.